All right, hey guys, welcome to my first YouTube video on my channel. My gamer tag is IDCI Insanity, and you can follow me on Twitch on Gaming with Insanity. And I just started that channel. So what I'm gonna do in this video, I'm gonna break down the patch notes for Season 7 Apex Legends, and I hope you like the video. All right, so first we got a new legend, Horizon. Now I think Horizon's gonna be very interesting in terms of her mobility as a character, and her ultimate are gonna be something that's a lot of people are gonna be drawn into, and I mean that like literally drawn into. What I noticed with her gravity lift, so we got spacewalk, increase air control, and reduce fall impacts with Horizon's custom spacesuit. So I think the air control means she has more movement, a freedom of movement in the air, which works well with any jump pad or jumping off a zip line, or her tactical, and reduces fall impacts with Horizon's custom spacesuit. I guess you don't have a delay, so you're more smooth when you're running around. Those split-second delays can obviously cause damage to your health or when someone's chasing you. So it allows for maneuvering and movement. She has a great passive. Tactical gravity lift. Reverse the flow of gravity, lifting players upward and boosting them outward when they exit. And I was watching some videos on this gravity lift, and you know what? It's really interesting is you can change directions very easily. So if you're moving forward with the legend and you want to kind of like throw it and then go backwards, you kind of like it'll launch you kind of backwards. So you can change your directions and very easily. It is kind of slow, so I mean, using it as your advantage, you can send players on that and catching them off guard in space. You can beam them. Just so understand they're going to be moving up. So in terms of damaging, you want to treat it like a zip line and kind of aim above them as you're going up. Pretty good tactical. You know, it's useful to get to certain places. I think it's going to be another option for Octane and Pathfinder mains to play so far with this maneuver and getting into high ground. Because sometimes when you play with a squad of 3 and you don't have that character that can get you up to a high ground, it's kind of annoying. And ultimate is the black hole. So deploy nuke to create a micro black hole that sucks in nearby legends. Now this is very interesting. I've seen a video where it kind of pulls everybody in together. They're going to be in this black hole and you just spray, and you're pretty much going to be beaming everybody in that whoever's in there. Now the question is it going to do damage? I don't know how much damage it's going to do. And second of all, is your teammates affected? Now I was a crypto main for many of my seasons since he was out. And you know, the EMP at first stunned your teammates, so you have to maneuver around that, and then they buffed them where the EMP stun did not affect teammates. And they recently just brought that back, that whole affecting your teammates in terms of stunning. So I want to know if this sucks in your teammates as well. So this will be very interesting, see what kind of plays it does. And also it's a tactical. It also, in the video, it showed that it stopped down Gibby's ultimate, and I'm sure it'll do the same with Bangalore. So it looks like a very useful ultimate. Now the question is going to be the cost of the ultimate, how much is it going to cost, and how long does it last? So those are two things we got to understand when the Season 7 comes out. So another exciting news is the Olympus New Map. We've been stuck with World's Edge and King's Canyon for so long, so thank God we're finally getting onto a new map. Looking at the map, it seems very fun, lots of colors, lots of different areas. What is interesting to see is the new vehicle Trident, which I'll also explain in the patch notes, but it's anytime a new season starts, you have to learn the map. What is going to be the new Skull Town? What is going to be the new cap city of Fragment West or Fragment East, and what are the rotations going to be like? And we're going to find out, and especially with the vehicle, the rotations are going to be very interesting to see like how well it works and maneuvers. In terms of looking around on the map, it looks pretty good. Not too many high and low buildings. You have a couple of them here, but we'll see when the update comes out. And I'm not going to read that. It goes into detail what the map's about. So new vehicle Trident. So a lot of people are excited to see what news will come around the Trident. And I think the Trident's going to be a great tool, especially when you're playing in some of those games where the game is taking forever. Going on a vehicle like this, you can kind of scout real quick. I'm sure a Bloodhound scan will also work on this, so you'll be able to find legends or find teams a lot more faster. And then the trailer showed Gibby using his bubble as a protection, so it gives Gibby another kind of use as a team instead of what he originally had. And you've seen Caustic for his gas as well. And you've seen also the main thing was Rampart having her ultimate latched onto the Trident, which is probably going to be the main damaging force of this vehicle. And it's great because Rampart needed something like important for her to kind of play a role, and it's very interesting that she can be in this. It reminds me of like a Warthog in Halo. Be able to have this. I wanted to see the questions around this. Can you stun it? How much health does it have? Does it blow up? Does it do damage to other? Like when it blows up, does it damage you? Does it instant kill you? I want to see what kind of things come around with this vehicle, and also jumps. It has a speed boost as well, so I'm sure you'll be able to escape and maneuver. And Pathy can grapple on. It looked like in the video that he grappled onto the Trident, so that's also a nice little getaway for Pathy. And here's a little mid-time mode. Olympus preview. So this is very interesting as well. They're adding this limited time mode called Olympus preview where you kind of go in and explore the map. That's very interesting that they did that. And this mode teams you up with 30 legends on Olympus, allows you to roam the map to learn map drop areas and practice rotation. So for competitive playing, this is amazing. Even for pubs, you can kind of learn different spots, different tricks, where especially the loot. The loot's going to be very important. And I think this preview is very fun that we can kind of go in there and see where all the drops are at. And you kind of get it once the circle 4 finishes, it resets it. So it's very interesting. So a total of 3 runs. This mode is only available for 1 week, so I would really take advantage of this Olympus preview. I'm a type of person that like to jump in and learn the map myself, like by actually playing. And but I'll definitely check out Olympus maybe 3-4 days after the update initially drops, just to get a better understanding of the map. So clubs, this is an amazing feature that it's gonna, like, the Apex community is so strong and so like big, and everybody has their own legends, everybody has their own playing styles. Being on console, we have on Xbox, we have a looking for group kind of like tool that a lot of people use, and they interact with each other, you build some friends. But here, instead of having a 3-man kind of like group that you're always chilling with, I feel like you can expand that a lot more. I'm not sure if there's pinned posts. I'm not going to go into this more in detail, but I just want to know, like, this is what's the biggest impact is going to be clubs and being able to make posts. It reminds me of Call of Duty clans and stuff, where people can make a heading, hey, like team 1 and 2 playing at this certain time, and who's online, like the members here, you can see who's online. It's just quicker like that. And timeline is very cool. Here, just played in a 2-man duo. And just because I guess people are playing, just place first, so it gives you placings as well of your teammates. So if you're a club, if you're a clan or club, I guess it's good analytics as well. And it's a nice little chat feature for other people who want to come around, hang around in the party, in the lobby. Because Apex doesn't really have anything like that. If you weren't playing, there wasn't really anything to do, kind of hang out. I think this is gonna be a great feature for people who want to kind of like be online but don't have time to play, or want to just get some work done on something else. They can kind of chill in the club as they're working on something else. So Apex Legends and Steam, this is amazing. A lot more players hopefully use this, and we'll get a lot more players into the game. I think with crossplay, it really revived the game in terms of like just putting all the players in one spot. Battle Pass, and dude, look at this amazing Octane skin. This looks beautiful. I love it. Now Wraith, it looks good as well. I'm not gonna lie, she's cool, but she has so many skins to pick from. Like, it's just, she has that one legend that you will have like 5 or 6 amazing skins. But for Octane, this is a really cool one. I hope they bring a non-mask version or non-goggle version. I know he has to wear goggles, but maybe something with like half of the mask broken. It would be very cool. But he looks really amazing here, and it's part of the Battle Pass. So just level up, make sure you take your time. And the Battle Pass is so much easier to level up than what it was before. I'm not talking about just this season specifically, but compared to the first initial seasons, there's a lot more challenges, daily, weekly, double XP. So take advantage of those. Sometimes it just takes a couple of games to just get a challenge unlocked or a Battle Pass level. And the best part about Apex, they allow you to get previous week's challenges done as you're moving forward. So take advantage of those if you're having trouble finishing your Battle Pass. I know people have work, I know people have jobs or school, but definitely take advantage of those challenges. And they're changing the reward system. So I found this really interesting that they're doing here. So challenges are no longer point-based, and are now granted between 1 to 5 stars. So depending on the difficulty, collecting 10 stars will take you to the next Battle Pass level, We have also added tabs to the challenge menu in the lobby that will allow you to toggle between daily, top, weekly, and event challenges. Within the match, players can open up the map and see the same widget in game. So this is cool that you can finally see this in the game. I think they should also do that with a damage tracker, but it's a star system. You can see finish top 5 15 times gives you 5 stars. When you get 10, it gives you a battle pass level. So you can see the stars will build up here to give you that battle pass level. You have some instant ones right here to give you instant level. So I don't know why they changed the point system to star system. I'm wondering, now how we have those XP badges, like 10%, 20%, and it gives you like 300% more XP. I don't know if that's gonna affect this now, but interesting to see how this kind of rolls out, because it's their first time doing it like this. All right, into the good stuff, the quality of life update. So this is the important stuff right here. So attachment swap improvements. When replacing an attachment from the ground, if the old attachment is an improvement for your other weapon, the other attachment will get automatically transferred. Sorry. This is huge. So many times when you pick up a barrel stab on your one gun, it will drop the original one when your other one doesn't have it. And then like you have to swap weapons and pick it up. Just this, it gives you a little bit of quality of life update that should have been done before, but a lot of times, I notice with barrel stabs a lot. So barrel stabs will be a lot more helpful for me, but any kind of weapon, it just makes everything quicker, easier, smoother, which is amazing. Replica updates for Season 7 removed weapons from the crafting pool and replaced them with shield batteries. So we got medkits and shield batteries. So this makes the replicator automatically a good kind of resource for big heals and a lot more useful. And the weapons were kind of annoying because it wouldn't be in the pool. So if you had one of your main weapons there, you can, crafting them was pretty easy too. You could have got crafting materials, but it was just something that you have to go out of your way. But it was a guaranteed, so it's a give and take, but I like the shield batteries in there. I think weapons you can manage with other kind of weapons if it's not there, but sometimes there's games where you have no shield bats and it makes the biggest difference. The higher level attachments will still be tailored towards the weapon category, so that is not changing. Now we prevent other players from picking up items that you have crafted for the first 5 seconds after crafting. This can be disabled by pinging the item. So this is very interesting. I guess when you craft something, your teammates don't pick it up, especially if you're playing with randoms. That must be frustrating. So I guess you can ping them if you want to give it to them, or if you have time to like fix out your inventory or swap things, you have also 5 seconds to do that. So airdrop clarity. Just some quality of life changes. What's going on is they're going to change the colors of lifeline drops and replicator drops and normal drops, just so people get a better understanding. Because I know the replicator is like a hexagon, but you're not always paying attention to that. You just listen. I know a lot of people listen to the sounds of the care package dropping to know where enemies are, but you'll also be able to see from color as well. This is very interesting too. The arc star now shows an arc star model when one is thrown near you instead of a grenade. Oftentimes you can hear an arc star compared to a grenade, but it makes it a lot more clear because the arc stars have a weird kind of hitbox model, and I guess knowing that an arc star is near you, it'll be a lot more clear to move. You can now ping more ammo in your inventory squad. I'm not gonna go into this. Unplayable circles, that's great. Regular map rotation, so we have Olympus going on for 2 weeks, and I'll go back and forth between Olympus and Rose Edge. Vaulting Kings Canyon for the time being. So I wish this was in pubs, maybe a little bit of Kings Canyon, just to add, like a good rotation, some flavor for people who get bored, but we decided to vault it here. I'm guessing they're gonna rework Kings Canyon a little bit and figure out what they can do with it to bring it back. The game has obviously changed when Kings Canyon was initially released. The game's a lot more faster, I feel like, a lot more mobility, and having characters or the game, like the third parties was probably the biggest concern. And I think the long range of weapons, for example, like the Scout and the Hemlock being such a staple in the game now, that like the map was a lot more smaller because you can hit from different angles and from different ranges compared to Season 1, where I think like the Peacekeeper, Wingman before the patch, and like the 99, 301 were kind of like the ballpark guns. I know the longbow was still pretty broken, but I don't think people use the longbow as much as they did with the Scout and Hemlock. So rank season 7 rank rotation, first half Olympus, second half World's Edge, so basic rank stuff. O's a new map and then the older map. Okay, so the legend meta. So this is kind of very interesting right here. The Bangalore Rolling Thunder reduce the time it takes for an explosion from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. This is big. I feel like this is a big buff for Bangalore, which is great. A lot of people were saying that the rocket should have done more damage. It should have been faster, and they kind of listened to the community. And they have it here as it's more of a zoning ability, which it is. It's a huge range. It's not gonna be like a very dangerous ultimate like a Gibby if you're in it, but it will cause you some damage for sure. And shorter fuse. So what it does, it kind of speeds up the gameplay. So if someone's on the roof and you throw your ultimate, you're gonna cause them to get out of that area quicker and cause them to go inside, or you be able to clear your path up quicker. So this is great for pushing or getting rid of people in high ground. Like I said, they can still kind of heal through it, but they have less of a time to kind of think if they want to heal. If not, 6 seconds, I'm not even sure if they can get a bat off. I think just barely if they're cracked, or maybe a cell or two, two cells maybe. But just that time to decision make is a lot more shorter, which makes Bangalore a lot more better in terms of pushing and zoning. Caustic, here's an interesting one. So Nox gas trap or Nox gas grenade. Legends no longer get blurred vision effect while in the gas. Damage updated from 4 to 10 ticks of damage to 6 to 12 ticks of damage. What I think about this is it was always annoying fighting against a Caustic when your vision was blurred, and it really affected for console players, unfortunately, the aim assist. And you would be, it'll be a lot of challenge sometimes to compete against a Caustic. I mean, then again, you could still, do your damage, but it was a little bit harder. But it wasn't such a thing that I thought they have to change it. I just thought you get used to it, right? Like it's a Caustic, you're gonna get blurred vision. But now that they removed that blurred vision and updated from damage, this is gonna be very interesting in terms of how Caustic mains or Caustic players play Caustic. If you're a player who uses the gas more, like they're gonna have blurred vision. I'm gonna just beam them. Now they may not have that blurred vision, but you do a lot more damage. So I want to see how people kind of play around this. Now this Caustic gas ultimate is going to be a lot more powerful. I think the damage of health, you're going to have to move away when you're not able to take those ticks as much as you would used to. Even though it's 2 ticks, it does stack up. A lot of times Caustic, you kill Caustic and you die right after the Caustic dies because the gas is still there. So this will be very interesting to see. Again, you'll be a lot more careful. Sometimes I full send Caustics with their gas and I come out with half my health. This could be a game changer. I had to second guess that. And I think it's gonna take about a first week to kind of adjust to this new effect, but I don't know why. Well, I guess what different legends and like Horizon, I don't know if this is gonna be, I don't know why they kind of remove the blurred vision, but we'll see. And he says fighting a Caustic was frustrating, but maybe they did it to make the game faster, more like fast paced. Instead of having blurred vision and slowness, it does damage, but you can go and fight. I'm not sure. Mirage, so this is a Mirage buff. Psyched out, a life of the party. Decoys now have 45 health. Mirage need this because his recent update with the Mirage decoys and being able to maneuver and control has been very good, but it just takes one bullet for them to kind of like, okay, you know what, it's not a real one. Here with 45 health, it gives Mirage more time to escape or move wherever he wants to, and it gives the players a lot. They have to be more accurate with their shots or with their judgment. And you know what, I think this is a great buff. Mirage needed something with his decoys. They were just too weak. But having a little bit of health just makes him, I think this is a good buff for Mirage. As a player who doesn't play Mirage, I feel like this is great. They needed something like this to make him more competitive and stronger. And so he's in a good spot right now. Octane, so people have been asking for a buff for Octane, and he's been slowly getting there, but this is a huge one right here. Swiftman, double healing rate from 0.5 to 1. So this is big. His passive healing rate was very slow, requiring up to 200 seconds to fully heal. So you have half that time, so 100 seconds to fully heal. So this is for Octane means you're going to maneuver around. When I play Octane, I usually forget to syringe a lot. I try not to syringe. It takes too much time, 4 seconds. I can, if I'm in a fight or something, I just kind of go at it. But This is big because you know what? The faster healing gives you a lot more freedom. Like you said, you don't have to pop a syringe. You may be able to, like, just by the time you get to that fight, your health will kind of go up a little bit. When you crack someone, you can put pressure on them as you're getting your health back. So it gives you a lot more range. And is it a good buff? I feel like it is. It's great. He needed it. When they do these buffs, you understand they're doing it into encourage an increased win rate. So a lot more people play him. They get a lot more wins. It transfers to, you know, more success with that legend. So the fact that his trio's win rate isn't great doesn't really bother us, because both his encounter win rate, thing of his ability to score knockdowns, and pickup rate and his pick rate are very healthy. So I guess this was just more like an overall quality of life change. His win rate isn't great, but a lot of people kind of pick him and play him. He's an amazing character, amazing legend, fast paced. A lot of people like fast legends. Okay, so Watson, perimeter security, increased damage per touch from 10 to 15. Watson needed this. A lot of times people kind of just zoom past the security. I still don't think the damage is enough for it to be like, you know, something that you may be scared of, but you are still stunned and you're still slower. So they're gonna get an extra kind of you're gonna have less health to deal with, or less range of health to deal with, especially guns like the 99 coming back. And the Volt, you're gonna get beamed very quickly if you're slow. But Watson needed this, you know. I think it really the timer on the Jennies kind of hurt her, but she can carry 2 ultimate accelerators. So they're just kind of like pick and choosing with Watson. It says it's an anti-octane, so it's more for slowing you down. But for competitive squads, obviously it's more for competitive. That's why they're trying to be very careful what they do with Watson, because a lot of competitive players and ranked players will kind of, they use Watson all the time. She's a great character for ranked and competitive play. So any kind of too much of a change it may make her overpowered or underpowered, and you want to keep that in a nice spot. So Loba, black market ammo taken no longer counts towards black market's maximum. You can scoop up all the ammo in range. I think they may limit this in the future, because this could be very interesting how it plays out, especially with some people may taking all the ammo out in the area just to have that in a certain spot. And I want to see how that's going to be like. I know energy ammo and ammo sometimes is a huge issue, so it's going to make Loba a little bit more of a character to bring in to solve up your team's loot, and that's what the main thing they said here. I want to see how this plays out, because I don't know if they should limit this. I'm not a big fan of all unlimited, especially 3 players all spamming on the ammo. I know it takes inventory space, but if someone just scoops up all the energy and heavy or light ammo in the area, it's gonna just be weird. I guess when you're looting boxes, there's nothing there, and it's a competitive advantage as well. I understand, but we'll see what happens with this. I feel like this is going to be the change they might limit, but then again, I'm not sure if people play Loba that much that'll make a huge impact. But I mean, we'll see. We'll just see, I guess. Rampart, this is big. Rampart was slow. The game was very fast paced. For her to be a good legend, it had to slow down a little bit, and I feel like she wasn't kind of caught up to that, and that's what they're doing right here. So it takes 1.25 seconds to fully spin up, down from 2 seconds. So faster turret from Sheila, and amp wall takes 3 seconds to fully build, down from 4. So a lot more faster in terms of shooting, and a lot more faster in terms of building. And I think that's great. She was a bit too slow. I don't want to read all this stuff because it's kind of explaining it. This is just my opinion on that. I'm great that she did it. I really feel like if she could detach Sheila and kind of like, you know, Halo reach, kind of like, or Halo, where you can kind of just hip fire Sheila, but it's not like accurate, or you can't really ADS. Maybe something to give you more mobility, but you're slower. I think in Gears of War, maybe, if you know what I'm talking about, those kind of games. I don't know what that would do, but because with Horizon now, we'll see if she can maneuver left and right faster, and if they'll affect Sheila's stationary kind of legend. So Pathfinder hitbox change. I think they said before it was slightly smaller. You can kind of see it's a little bit bigger. I don't really see it, but I can see a lot more detail in the lining from what it was. Maybe it was a color change, but there's some negative space around his arms and legs. So slightly small negative spaces, and they're doing their best to kind of make that full. I don't know if this change doesn't make a meaningful difference in terms of win rate, we'll drop low profile. So this is kind of big as well, and not having low profile anymore makes the legend huge. Some quality of life changing in the grappling hook. Pathfinder no longer needs to be on the ground for grappling hook to be considered finish, which is good. The speed to which Pathfinder needs to drop for us to consider grappling hook finish was increased from 300 units to 500 seconds. The cooldown was set to be lowered to 30 from 35, the maximum. So they're just giving you kind of like what they did beforehand. And you know what? I think his win rate was still up 1%. I think I mentioned here. Yeah, it went up total 1%. And hopefully this change in not having low profile, if it does make a difference, allows people to kind of play Pathfinder. I feel like his grappling is still a bit too long of a cooldown. It should be shorter, because from 15 seconds to 30, it's huge, or 35 initially. Maybe a 25 will be kind of a sweet spot, and then gold helmet, kind of bring it close to whatever it was. But weapon meta, here 99 is coming back. It's making a return. I know a lot of competitive players are happy with this gun, and the one clip, the laser beam, and they're putting the Prowler into the, you know what's funny, look at this, the Prowler is going back into the, well, Prowler has never been there, but it's going to go back, it's going to go into the supply drop, and nothing's changing. They're not increasing the damage, they're not increasing the clip. It's such a strong and powerful weapon that just putting it in as a supply drop is sufficient enough. So that's what I found very interesting. 99 is coming back to what it was pre-season 6. We'll see with the Volt there. It gives you more, because the Volt has been a go-to weapon for a lot of players with 309, with the 301. So now the R99 will kind of give you a lot more options when you're choosing your kind of beam weapon, your main go-to weapon. Fully cutted weapon switches, Wingman, Sentinel are in, G7, Alternator, Havoc. I wonder what kind of scope will be in the G7. Hemlock changes. So what they're doing to Hemlock, well, you can see right here, you see the word recoil a lot. Okay, so they're increasing the recoil, the horizontal recoil for the first 3 shots, first burst when in burst mode, increasing recoil magnitude in the later stages of the pattern, reducing recoil multiplier and single fire mode to help compensate for additional recoil in pattern. Recoil should be mostly increased in burst mode rather than single fire mode. So I've noticed being playing, I took a break from season 5. I haven't played season 6 that much, but season 6, the Hemlock has been an absolute beast with the burst. The burst is a lot more better than the single fire. I think they're just trying to balance it a lot more. Single fire should be great for mid-range and close range, but it's been beaming from that mid-range to long range. I think they want single fire to kind of be the go-to choice from that distance instead of the burst. And reducing headshot multiplier damage against no helmet. And you know what, because it kicks up, you get a lot of headshots with this weapon because it shoots 3 bullets at a time. And I guess it's a good kind of change because it was very powerful. You know, it got a lot more attention, like I said here, and it's a bit too strong. So Havoc, updated recoil pattern, kicks up, then left and right, then up again. I guess they couldn't really balance it out, so they're just giving it a whole new pattern. And we have adjusted the recoil pattern to have the same general movement while simplifying the motions required to control the pattern. So I guess it's a lot more easier to control than what it is previously, but it's a little bit more harder to expect, I guess, because it's up, right, left, up, instead of like you just hold down what it used to be. L-Star has a new recoil pattern that kicks horizontally at first and then settles into relatively consistent upward recoil. Players who feather the trigger will be able to keep the L-Star in a good portion of the recoil pattern. L-Star venting time after letting go of the trigger has been reduced from 0.4 seconds to 0.15. So that's kind of a big change. L-Star will now reduce heat faster when not overheated. 1.15 seconds from 99.9% to 0% charge if not overheated. Still 2.4 seconds. So they're making L-Star a little bit more stronger in terms of its limitations, right? The recoil and the cooldown or the overheating was this big problem, and they're trying to manage that here with these changes. I'm looking forward for the L-Star to be one of the weapons that you kind of like pick up in the beginning if you can't find your go-to and still be able to put out damage. But I don't think we'll be able to manage to keep up with the 99 and the Volt, 301 and etc. But we'll see what happens. Sentinel Energized Sentinel now has pure damage increase instead of a bonus damage only shields. Energized Sentinel base damage 70 to 88. So just Sentinel, the Energized version, which you know what, it takes away your shields, has been a lot more stronger now, and it gives it more base damage. So this is huge. I think they're trying to really make that Sentinel that like one shot will do a lot of damage, but not enough to take you down. And it's great for pushes, I guess. If you get a crack on somebody with an energized shot, you can push them. This is a good change for Sentinel. We'll see. I think Sentinel's a good place after this buff. You know, I think it was made for that break down your shield, and here we go. That's gonna make it a little bit more than just break down your shield, but anything more than that, I think it might be overpowered. It is still kind of slow compared to the longbow and etc., but it does hit hard. So we'll see what they do. Triple take, thank God. The triple take's fire rate was insanely fast. When you get caught out in the open with it, most of the times you would be crushed or knocked. They're reducing it from 1.3 to 1.2. I hope this is noticeable enough. It's a very accurate weapon. And the damage is very crazy too. It hits 25 like a base shot, but then sometimes you hit a 69, a 70, and 80 consistently. You get a knock. So some slower fire rate gives you enough time to get into cover, I feel like, but we'll see if that's enough on the triple take. But by them increasing the Sentinel as well, it gives you more options for snipers. Hop up. So we got some new hop up. So select fire, first of all, is gone completely. Makes sense. After I like what they did with the triple take, with having the precision choke like embedded in the gun. I feel like they'll do the same with the Havoc. And here we go, we got select hop up will be removed from the loot pool to make room. So select fire is obviously gone because Prowler is getting into the supply drop, so there's no need anymore. And quick draw, so we have a new hop up. This new hop up attaches to the RE45 and Wingman. When equipped, the gun becomes quicker to raise and lower, takes less time to ADS, and has reduced hip fire spread, particularly when not actively moving. So for strafers, this should now open up a new opportunity to use two new weapons, especially in close quarters combat. This makes Wingman a lot more stronger when you have this hop up. I think it takes over the Skull Piercer. I don't know if you can have Skull Piercer or this hop up, but that's very interesting. Close quarters, the hip fire is a lot more stronger, so it's kind of like that perfect weapon when you're out of ammo. You switch and you kind of take a couple of shots with that Wingman. Well, for the hop up, in case. I use Wingman from mid range and I'll kind of go back and forth. But Evo, so this is the game meta changes. So Evo armor requirements increase, so making it harder to level up, especially from the red Evo. So look at this, 750 damage from purple to red. That's huge. It's almost from 250 300, and here we go, another 250. A lot more damage to get that red Evo, and I think it's just, I guess it makes it harder for everybody to have it in your end game, and because the red armor is supposed to be very powerful, and this kind of gives that gold armor its spot, not like back like it used to be, but a more of a viable option, because a lot more people will be in this level 3 range, and then they have the option to go into gold armor, unless what they want to do damaging at level 4, but that gold armor will kind of be a better option. Reduced damage, ring damage reduced, which is huge. I love this change, especially right here. Particularly this change should allow players enough time to pop a syringe if they're picked up in ring 2. Getting knocked in ring 2 was a heartbreak moment. You were not able to pop a syringe as when you got rezzed, and now you are. So it gives you a lot more kind of freedom to play in that ring. All it takes is slightly a lot more lower. And being captured in the ring, because you just finished the fight, or you're kind of backing out and trying to avoid a major fight or a zone hold, you have more freedom doing that. And I like that. Because the ring being, it should be an obstacle in the game, but when it's the main obstacle, it's very frustrating. Especially when you have to focus on healing rather than fighting. With this kind of change and less damage, you can kind of fight your way out of the ring instead of just constantly trying to pop syringes and figure out where to go. because it was very hard to fight a team when they're zone holding you. I mean, you could probably fight them, but the ring itself will take you out before they would. So it was tough. Audio changes, especially with footsteps. A lot of people have dead silence in this game, if you guys noticed that. But this is a lot better for that. I'm hoping they said there's more work being done, so that's great. Definitely needed. People sneak up too much behind you or around you, you're not able to hear them at all. That needs to be fixed for sure. Pathfinder, fixing issue with zip lines going through platforms. Here are just like a couple of bugs that are fixing. Octane's jump and drone getting stuck and able to drop things, and Revenant stuff. So this is all the stuff they're fixing. It's a couple of bugs, but anyways, that is the patch notes broken down. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to write that down below, and I'll kind of get to them and ask you guys what you think or what's going on. If you guys are playing on Xbox, oh, it's crossplay. What am I saying? Definitely hit me up on a message, id_DC_I_insanity, or follow my Twitch on Gaming with Insanity on Twitch and watch a live stream. Definitely come chat and we'll play a couple of games, all right? Thanks for tuning in. Take care.